finally published. And thus, you're seeing here is the abstract that we eventually published, but this is not how it started. This is not how it started. First of all, I'm really, really sorry if you're hearing a sound in the background. I'm just using what I have. I'm really, really sorry about that. Hopefully, you can hear me. So, yeah, in today's manuscript here down live, I'm taking you through the versions of the abstract that we submitted, the reviewers' comments that forced us to rethink and the changes that we made along the way. And also, there's a piece of feedback that I completely misunderstood when I first received it. And it was the first feedback. I'm going to show you that one as well. So now let's go back to the beginning of this presentation because this is not how it started. So now I'm going to try to maximize it so that you can see it very, very well. So yeah, this is the life cycle of the manuscript, what it actually went through. This is the journey of the manuscript. So let's look at the first original abstract that we submitted. Actually, this is our methodology in the abstract. So this is the reviewer comment. The reviewer had concern with we saying all medical students from 100 level to 600 level were selected. This is their concern. So at first I was like, okay, what do they actually mean? Of course, we used medical student from 100 level to 600 level. I'm sorry, maybe used is not the correct word, but you know what I'm trying to say. So those were the population. So what do they actually mean by others? So it took me a while to finally realize what we did wrong. If we are saying that all medical students from 100 level to 600 level, that means all of them were included in the study. And that's not what we did. We did not sample all medical students. We chose because medical students in those two schools, I think, is about, they're more than 1,000, close to 2,000. But the people that participated in our research was only, I think, 301. So that means not all medical students from 100 level to 600 levels were selected. So we did not write it well. The way we wrote it was actually wrong, even though we did everything right. And also, the sampling technique was omitted. We didn't include the sampling technique. Now, let me show you. This is the way we rewrote the abstract. So now, instead of saying all medical students, we wrote that a cross-sectional study was conducted among medical students across levels 100 to 600 at BUK and ABU. And also, we added that response achieved using a convenience sampling method. So now you can see that we've clarified the population, the people that we included, and also we included the sampling method. Now let's look at the way we responded to the reviewer. So we wrote that the statement has been revised for clarity, and the abstract now specified that the study targeted medical students in 100 level to 600 level. See page 3, lines 50 and 51. So it is important when you're responding to reviewers to include the page number and the lines, and also you can use track changes or maybe highlight your corrections. Now let's look at the third submission, the comments that we had. So for the third submission, we had two issues with it. So the first one was the background, and the second one was the result. So let's look at what happened to the background. So the reviewer comment here is saying that the background paragraph of the abstract is quite lengthy. The reviewer said it's lengthy, and for me personally, I didn't see anything that was wrong with this. If you have to look at this in a document, it's just five lines. Yeah, so if I was the one reviewing this manuscript, nothing. I'm going to accept it the way it is. I won't say that it's too lengthy, but I guess that's why we don't review our manuscripts. That's why others have to look at it for us. So this is the original background that we wrote. Now let's look at the revision. So before, the rationale was very, very lengthy, and we added a lot of context, which made it to be lengthy because that's the way I think about it. That's the only reason. So here is the rewrite in green. This is what we submitted. So the key change that we did here is we shortened the rationale, and then we immediately added our study objective. This is this is it. This is what we did. So you can see here, we are stating the background. We introduced the topic, and then immediately we added the problem statement a bit here, considering the recent cases reported in Nigeria. That's a little bit of the problem. And then we proceeded to add our study objective. So this is what we submitted. So now let's look at the second comment, which has to do with the result section that we reported in the abstract. So for the result section, the reviewer said the result misses several key findings. So if you look at it, this is what we reported. We reported the awareness of monkeypox, the attitude, their willingness to be vaccinated, and some of their concerns regarding the vaccine. What we missed was the participant characteristics. This one is really, really valid. And also, we missed statistical associations and some independent predictors as well. So let's look at what we did with the result section. So first thing we did was we added participant characteristics. We added the number of students, we added their age, and also we added gender. And then we retain the previous results as well. You can see the awareness and attitude is still here. The acceptability is still here as well. So now we added the chi-square test. The chi-square test was not added from the previous one. Now we added it, and also we added we did logistic regression, so we also added it. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful when you're reporting your results. You should make sure that you include all key findings that has to do with that study. Now, so this is the way we responded to the reviewer. We said we thank the reviewer for this observation. Of course, you have to thank them because they are not being paid for doing that job. So we have to let them know that we appreciate their effort. So the abstract has been revised accordingly. We say the background has been condensed and the resource section has been expanded with key findings. See track changes in the manuscript in page 2 and 3. So the key thing here is you want to state what you changed and where exactly the reviewer can find it. You don't want to stress them because they already have a lot of things to do. You already have enough things to do, so you don't want to stress them. Just tell them where it is and where they can find it. And if you are disagreeing with any of their comments, it's easy for you to write that you disagree with their comments, and this is why you think their comments is, I don't want to say is wrong, but their comments maybe is not a fit for the manuscript, or maybe it's something that you've already addressed, so you can push back politely. You don't always have to agree with everything that is said. Maybe I should have pushed back on that background. Okay, let's move on. Now, right here is the final abstract that was published. This is the abstract that was published. So the way we submitted before was we divided them into sections. So like a background, you have your method, you have your results, and then you have your conclusion. But the published one has no section. It is combined. I think this is the manuscript guidelines. This is what they want to publish. This is how they do their thing. So it's okay. So you can take your time and look at the abstract because here you can see the background is here, and immediately we added the study objectives, and then we moved to the method, a cross-sectional study. Everything was implemented, and around here you can see that we had our results section. We started with the chi-square test actually. So if you look at it, you see that the results section, I mean, is taking a bigger aspect. It's taking more space in the abstract. So you can see it here from this place down here is the abstract. It might not really be clear, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. So what are the key takeaways from this session? The first thing you want to do is you want to be precise about participant selection. You have to report what you did. Please don't be like us. We didn't report what we did. We said all medical students, whereby it wasn't all medical students. That was an error. That was an oversight in the way we framed the writing. But please, you have to be careful. Then the next thing is every sentence in the abstract should earn its space. If it is not relevant, just remove it. Then also the results section should prioritize key findings, the findings that answers your research question. So next week we are going to look at the introduction. Actually, the abstract is the one that has less of corrections or minimal comments, but the introduction and the methodology had a lot of comments, especially the methodology, due to that we use a convenience sampling. So at some point I was feeling like it's as if you use a convenience sampling, you have a lot of you're going to have to explain to a lot of people why you went for convenience sampling when there are other sampling techniques that the reviewers or journals think it is more appropriate for a particular study. So next week we're going to look at the introduction. So if you love this series, you can subscribe to my channel and follow along, because next week we are going to continue with the introduction. And also, if you're struggling with any part of your research or you've received reviewers' comment, feel free to drop it in the comments. So yeah, this is like a successful session because this is my first time going live on YouTube. Hopefully it is going to increase, and I really really apologize for the noise. Hopefully you can hear me. And okay, that's all. I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye. Stream.